Welcome to The Lift with Sheila Robinson Kiss. Come on in. There's always a special place set aside for you here where you can relax, kick up your heels, pour yourself a nice, refreshing drink, and prepare to be lifted and soar. Thanks so much for being here. Welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about little known syndrome, BOA syndrome. This might even be the first time you're hearing about this syndrome, and that's okay because I actually coined the phrase myself and labeled this a year ago based on nearly 20 years of clinical research and work. And I just want to share this message with you today about what it is and what you can do about it. So first and foremost, what is BOA syndrome? BOA syndrome is blindness of abuse syndrome, and essentially this develops within a person after being neglected, abused, or maltreated for so long that they can no longer tell the difference between normal treatment or abusive treatment. I want to lay a general foundation for you and really stress that oftentimes BOA results from the kind of abuse and maltreatment that starts for a person at a very young age. Birth to 6 is the time that the greatest amount of damage is done. That's not to say that a person can experience maltreatment and neglect or abuse after that, but I'm talking about the very formative foundational years where there's so many neurons in the brain and we're shaping and forming so much of how we see the world and sense the world and experience the world in terms of our fragile nervous systems. If what I'm saying with you strikes a chord, this is absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. I myself had to come to terms with this blindness of abuse syndrome that I had. I didn't even realize was affecting me until much later on. So again, if I'm striking a chord, you're not alone. A person can be maltreated so long that their life falls into this hazy gray of normality where that kind of treatment is not only normal but in some cases is expected. I worked with a woman some years ago. She came in because she was being really flat out abused by two people, and I'll use the term friends very loosely, and she described to me that she was running errands for these people, picking up coffee, doing all manner of just odd things that really wouldn't resonate with something you do just for a friend who's completely capable to do it for themselves. And as we were talking about it more and more, when she admitted to me, Sheila, I hear myself saying this, and as I was doing it, it just didn't feel like abuse because that's what I've been doing all my life. I've been accommodating and doing for. So yes, it was abuse, but as she went on to discover, this happened because of a BOA syndrome. She was blind to it, and to her it felt like I'm being a good friend, but in actuality she was being taken advantage of. She wanted to be the good little girl. It was very familiar for her, and this was a coping mechanism that she used just to make it through life. as a child. And I will say this to everyone: if you did not come from a healthy, stable background, there does come a point in time in life where you have to stop and check in with yourself and very necessarily do some reprogramming. And that's just the reality. We don't talk much about these topics, but I'm convinced many people are struggling, particularly in their adult life, because they have not stopped, checked in, and started this reprogramming process. I myself can remember being a very young child, maybe like 4 or 5, and asking my mother, why does my stepfather make such a difference between me and my sister and his biological child? And her answer, a child wouldn't understand it. I see it differently now as an adult. She said, well, he's not your father. He doesn't have to do anything for you. And guess what? He basically didn't. Now I've dealt with all that stuff. I can laugh about it now. But what I will tell you is it really laid a foundation for a young child to accept really maltreatment, substandard treatment. And as I was coming into adolescence, it was, hey, I'm grateful for nothing, and if you give me some crap sprinkled with some whipped cream and cherries on top, I'll be grateful for that too. So you can imagine walking through the world, how very dangerous that blindness of abuse posture can be, because there are so many people not only willing to take you for granted or abuse you in all manner of ways. They may even be fully aware that they're doing it, and just because you're not, you are a sitting duck. So none of my subscribers are going to be sitting ducks in life at all. You keep watching this channel, you will not be a sitting duck. I want to give you 3 very specific questions that you can begin to ask yourself. Whether you're an adolescent and you feel like BOA is affecting you, or whether you're an adult and you're struggling in this area. I'm going to give you 3 key questions. So 3 key questions. The first question to begin to ask yourself, and set these questions to memory so that they're automated. The first key question is this treatment degrading my soul? It seems like an abstract question at first, but not when you really get into it and pick it apart a little bit. Is this treatment degrading my soul? Your soul is the absolute center of your existence, and when it is being degraded, there will be a sick, dark feeling that comes over you. And this is not a sick feeling that medication can cure. It's really very primal. And your soul does not speak to you just through your body or through your mind. It will speak to you through both. So it's really an overwhelming feeling. And although it may start very small, it's a constant gnawing that will not go away. So that's the first question to sit with in the center of your being. Is this treatment degrading my soul? Second question that I'd like you to set to memory is this treatment unnecessary? Is this unnecessary and ongoing? So the ability to support your voice in life becomes such an essential function of healthy living, because a supported voice will say, you know what? This is not okay, and this needs to stop. And if you don't feel that you're strong enough to support your voice, still ask the question, because there will be an answer if you're being honest with yourself. I can recall in many instances being in situations where I had not developed the capacity to support my voice. This bell would go off and I knew something was not quite right, but this BOA syndrome would kick in, and it really functions like, this groove you have in your couch, because you've just kind of been sitting on the couch for so long, or this groove you have in your mattress. You don't necessarily like it. It's not really attractive, but once you get in there, it's very comfortable. That's what this BOA, it will just pull you back in to a habitual pattern of familiarity. It's an unhealthy pattern, but it can really feel so familiar and comfortable that you end up staying and questioning and doubting yourself. Question number 3. Is this treatment cruel and or manipulative? Is it cruel and or manipulative? Cruel treatment is just that extra unnecessary dose of treatment, often sprinkled with a flavor of manipulation, just for the extra control. This is what I want you to understand first and foremost. When someone respects you, when someone cares for you, or truly loves you from the heart, when you hurt, they hurt. It will hurt them to degrade you. Even, let's take love out of the equation, just basic, simple baseline of respect, care, and concern. It will hurt them to degrade you. And if that is what is going on, it's just a tall tale sign of abuse. They simply add insult to injury. I was working with a gentleman, and he was going through a really bad divorce, and the divorce was bad enough, but his wife insisted on sending him voicemail messages of her and her lover, and it was very hurtful to him, and the average person would have jumped ship, would have been angry, but this man kind of was riding in the saddle, because again, the blindness of abuse, not even realizing that this degradation is taking place. So how do you stop it? What do you do if you know in your heart and soul that you're being affected by this, and as a result there are things happening in your life that you really just want to break this cycle? The first step is always to sit with yourself and to get very real and acknowledge what is happening. If you don't acknowledge it, there is no way you can tackle it or you can change it. I remember when I basically had that come to Jesus moment with myself, and it was just a very real moment of, hey, look, girlfriend, we got some work to do. And again, it's not about judgment of self. I'm certainly not judging you. If anyone else is, really, that's their problem. This is really about acknowledging the truth and getting healthy so you can roll up your sleeves and do this necessary work. So after you've acknowledged that there's an issue, what's the next step? My next step was to really make a promise to myself. It's about making a solemn vow to myself. This is done. I will no longer put myself in positions to be neglected, maltreated, or abused. And when I tell you a solemn vow, it was, and it was kept. And that's really just a level of commitment that you want to come at this with. I've said it before. If you listen to my videos, there's a theme that runs through this work. You didn't come here, you didn't come to this planet to be mistreated and abused. That's not what you're here for. And that is not part of God's master plan for any of us. God is thrilled when you finally use your free will that we all have to draw a line in the sand and say, you know what, enough is enough. And I can tell you that he is so thrilled that that moment of reckoning you have within yourself, He's so happy for you that he is going to instantly start to craft a custom designed program for you, complete with quizzes, tests, worksheets, all of that. You will start to be tested immediately. And that's part of God's grace and plan. He wants you to grow in this area. You cannot grow in this area of self-advocacy and confidence and recognizing abuse if you don't gain the skills to call people out on their behavior, to speak up when it's necessary, so you can plan, expect, and anticipate that. But the beauty of it is all you need to do is ask for the help and support. Help me through this, Father. I don't even have a frame of reference. I don't know where to start. And he will grab your hand and lovingly walk you through each and every step, inch by inch. You know, I fumbled and stumbled through many conversations at the start of this core work. And I'll be straight up with you. There were people who they were let go because they did not want to come on board with the new program. And the new program was still loving, warm, and kind, but this was a new and improved program where there would be no more nonsense, because there would be no more degradation. So there will be people that need to go, and quite frankly, you need to let them go, and that's okay. Other times you're just going to need to muster the courage to have conversations you don't want to have, and they will be hard at first. But then something else beautiful happens. Everyone after gets easier and easier and easier. And before you know it, you are really seated in a place of empowerment in your life. And I didn't say power and authority over anyone else. Only weak people need other people's power to feel good. True empowerment is the ability to control and manifest in your own life. And that's what you will be on the road to once you start this vital work. Now, I've had people to tell me over the years, Sheila, I want to start it. It sounds good, but I'll be honest with you, I don't even know, because of how I've been treated in my past and my filter is broken. I don't even know if I can catch the abuse in real time. Sometimes I just need to sit and think about it, and it hits me later. That's not a problem. Rome was not built in a day. If that's a concern you have, what I want you to do is adopt a simple philosophy. Be loving and forgiving with yourself, and say to yourself again and again, okay, as soon as I catch it, I'm going to correct it. If it's something that I catch 2 months later, 6 months later, when I catch it and have had time to process it, I'm going to correct it. I'm going to do what I need to do, maybe have a conversation, maybe move away from a situation, and maybe making adjustments in a relationship. But when I catch it, I'm going to correct it. So I thank you for joining me. I'm going to be doing much more of these videos as I start my empowerment series, as we move into this new year, which I feel very good about for all of us. So I hope this has been helpful, and thank you so much. I'll see you next time.